Alright, we're gonna get started a little bit. Give me a few minutes here. Hope you're all doing well today. And alright, we're gonna get started a little bit. If you guys have any questions for me, you can put it in the live chat. Now, I'm also streaming on other channels as well. I may not get to your question right away. Just be patient with me. The best place to reach me is on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, then you're able to find this content. So how's everyone doing today? Alright, the title of our video today is You Can't Crunch Away Constipation. And if you're trying to lose weight in 2025 and beyond, you're in the right place. I'm just setting on my stream. You guys give me a little bit of time. Hmm. Okay. Let me know if you guys see my screen. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. We're going to cover a lot of content today. If you are interested in improving your digestive health, if you're looking to lose weight in 2025 and beyond, you are in the right place. Now, I don't have a quick solution for y'all. Many of you are trained to look for these shortcuts online. Many of YouTube videos you can watch online, but unfortunately, they're going to take you further away from your goal, whatever that goal may be for your health. And what I'm sharing here, there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable truths that many people they just don't want to hear. And today, if you guys have any questions for me, you can put them in the live chat. This is a live broadcast. This is not a pre-recorded video. It is September 18th, around 2:06 in the afternoon. I live in Asia. We're going to cover a lot of content today. We're going to talk a lot about digestive health and also principles on personal development. If you're interested in personal development, interested in weight loss, getting your digestion right, getting your six-pack abs, or starting the process in 2025 and beyond, you are in the right place. So a little bit of myself. My name is Sean. This was me back in 2015. And I pretty much look like this pretty much all year round. I don't really weight loss rebound anymore. In fact, I don't think I weight loss rebound over the last couple of years. And it was a process. Go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. And this is not a quick process. I'm going to share a lot of information about my own personal setbacks and how you can avoid. Just listen to my content here. It's going to help you avoid the mistakes that I made. And over here, I want to first cover some principles regarding personal development. So just give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull up these slides. The very first lesson in personal development is actually, who do you listen to? Many of you are listening to all the wrong people. You've been trained to listen to all the wrong people. You got to listen to people who happen where you are and where you want to be. Many people you're listening to right now, they probably can't take you to the promised land. They cannot help you with your digestive health. Today, we're going to cover a lot of information. This is probably one of the most useful videos you've ever watched online if you're interested in improving your digestive health. This is not just about me doing jumping jacks out here, people doing exercise videos. This information could literally change the trajectory of your life. Now, this picture on the left, I want to share a major mistake that I made back in 2015, 2016. And for a long time, people told me, hey, if you want to get six-pack abs, you want to go to the gym and find yourself a personal trainer. How many of you have a personal trainer right now, but you're still not achieving six-pack abs? Have you been there before? This is me living in downtown San Diego at the time. And there's a small little mall called the Horn Plaza. And inside that mall, there was a 24-hour fitness. So I will pull up to one of these gyms, right? Because I'm looking for a personal trainer, finding myself a gym. I go to one of these gyms, and these personal trainers have been pulling up. They're going to start talking to you and be like, hey, what's going on? What are your goals? Are you trying to bulk up? Are you trying to cut? This, that, and the third. Have you been through that routine before? They're going to have you get up on that scale, measure your weight, measure your height. From these two numbers, they have your body mass index. Next, they're going to pinch all over your body. That's the calorifer test, measure your body fat percentage. And after all that, they're going to say, okay, we're going to do some high intensity cardio. You're going to track your calories with MyFitnessPal. How many of you track calories with MyFitness? I haven't tracked a damn calorie for 4 or 5 years now. But listen, these personal trainers that were pulling up, they were even more out of shape than I was. Are you listening to the right people? People, if they're not in shape, just because they got some certificates doesn't mean they can take you to the promised land. And I was struggling with weight loss rebound. In the short term, you will see some results. For example, you're tracking your calories, and then you're going to the gym, you're hitting all your exercises, doing your reps, doing your sets. In the short term, you're losing 5-10 pounds, right? But for some reason, you gain it all back and then some. 1 set forward, 2 sets back. Any of you been in that situation before, let me know in the live chat. Because if you're struggling weight loss rebound, you're in the right place if you want to fix it. Now, I don't have a quick solution for you. I don't just sell some stupid supplement that's not going to work. Because deep in your heart, that stuff doesn't work. Those are just detours. Any type of shortcut I try to offer you is very likely a detour. If you're looking for the hard and difficult path, you must begin learning about your digestive system. Many of you just don't want to learn, and you can swipe away to another video because you will never achieve your goals. You just go to one detour after the next, and before you know it, you're going to have a lasting dad bod. It will never go away. Now, we discussed the very first lesson in personal development is, who do you listen to? Listen to people who happen where you are and where you want to be. If you're struggling with the dad bod, if you're struggling with weight loss rebound, as I was, so pretty much all year around, I looked like this, 6-pack abs. I don't struggle with weight loss rebound over here. Not only was I struggling with weight loss rebound, nasal congestion, joint discomfort, restless feet syndrome, all around. And now I no longer struggle with any of those things. And if you stay on this call, I will share with you what I did to recover my health. Now, the second lesson in personal development is actually teachability index. Many of you, you're not teachable. If you're not teachable, you're not going to be able to change your life. You got to increase your willingness to learn and increase your willingness to accept change. I'm going to break this down for you. Teachability index is another way of saying, what is your coachability index? How coachable are you? What is your willingness to learn on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you willing to set aside your time, your favorite activities? This could be Netflix, going out to the bar with your friends, hitting the clubs on the weekends. You're willing to set that time aside and actually say, hey, this is important. I'm going to go pick up these books. I'm going to listen to this podcast. I'm going to attend conferences in person or take online courses. You have to do something to demonstrate your willingness to learn and give yourself a score between 1 to 10. Many of you, you're just not teachable and you're thinking I'm just gonna watch another YouTube video and expect my life to change by lighting up another candle, buying some more crystals, do another tarot, run another astrological chart. Best of luck to you. Next, what is your willingness to accept change? If you learn something during this presentation and you think that it makes sense, you check with your doctors, maybe you need to do them. You have to be willing to accept change. You have to actually do the protocols to see your body begins to take change. Now we're going to cover a lot of information regarding digestive health. Hey, what's going on? Natsima, where are you from? Great to see you, have you on this call. This is definitely not a recorded broadcast. This is a live broadcast. So I do enjoy communicating with y'all, and the way to do it, best way to reach me is on YouTube. I am broadcasting on other channels as well, such as Instagram. I'm also here on Facebook, but I don't think people watch any of these live broadcasts on some other channels. But YouTube has the most traffic. And you guys can subscribe. It costs you nothing to subscribe. You're Indian? Fantastic. My name is Sean. Yeah, John. So we're going to cover a lot of information on digestive health. If you're looking to lose weight, if you're having problem with digestion, if you're having chronic constipation, if you want to just experience vibrant health, this is the way to do it. You have to first learn. Oh, you're 14 years old. Okay, fantastic. We have a guy on here. He's from Bangladesh. He comes on here pretty often. You might see him a little bit. He is a little bit older than you. He is 20. So you're going to learn a lot today. So the first thing you're going to learn is your digestive system. Every last one of you, you have this digestive system, as long as you're not a bot. Food enters your mouth, down the esophagus, into your stomach. Inside your stomach, you have your digestive enzymes and acids breaking down the food. And over time, food will enter your small intestines next for nutrient absorption. The small intestine is incredibly long. It's about 4.5 meters, roughly 15 feet. Followed by your large intestines, another 5 feet in length, another 1.5 meters. If you want to better understand your digestive system, you have to just learn human physiology. You have to break it down, and even in simpler terms, it's a very long piece of pipework. This is not an accurate illustration, but it's going to help you better understand your alimentary canal or your food canal. You all have this canal. Once again, you ingest food through your mouth, down the esophagus into your stomach. Digestive enzymes and acids breaking down the food. Over time, food will enter your small intestines next for nutrient absorption. This is the 4.5 meters, roughly 15 feet, followed by your large intestines, another 1.5 meters in length, another 5 feet, and out the back for elimination. Many of you, you're having many problems with your digestion because you're chronically constipated. That waste material is not going out. If you're taking notes today, just write this down. What I ingest through my mouth must exit out the back as waste elimination. People think this is very, very funny, or this is definitely no laughing matter, because many people, they cannot get this done. They cannot perform this very basic function. You can call it a key performance indicator. You can say, this is something that you must do every single day. And if you're not getting this done, that means this waste material is going to continue to compound. It's going to distend your colon. This is your colon. This is the ascending, transverse, descending portion of your colon, out the back for elimination. If this waste material is not going out, you're going to have many, many other health problems. You must go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right every single day, if you ever want to experience vibrant health. Now, what is a better way for you to better understand your digestive system? You want to take a quick look at NBA basketball. How many of you play basketball? So from that floor to the basketball rim, that is 10 feet off the floor, roughly 3 meters. The combined length of your small and large intestines is equal to 2 of these. Just imagine you have one NBA hoop, and you want to put another NBA hoop on top of that. This combined height, 20 feet or 6 meters, that is the small and large intestines combined. People all over the world, they're chronically constipated. How do I know? I did the keyword analysis. How many of you are in internet marketing and you do keyword analysis for your business? When people are going on different search engines, could be Yahoo, Bing, Google, Yandex, Baidu, doesn't matter. What are people typing in every single day? You can actually find the search volume for specific keywords, and that's how you can identify, oh, is this a growing market? Is it a stagnant, or this is a declining market? Year over year, the search volume for constipation is only growing year over year. And it doesn't matter if people are typing it in different languages all over the world. In French, Spanish, German, Italian, Russian, Portuguese, Chinese, Dutch, Arabic, Turkish, Danish, Swedish, Polish, Vietnamese, Finnish, Norwegian, Indonesian, Hindi. People are typing in chronic constipation in Hindi, I'm sure. And nobody solved this problem. You think that in 2025, you have many options, right? You can go to your local pharmacy, you can buy some laxatives, or you think that, oh, I can make a few taps on my phone and this food just shows up, or some taxi just shows up. We haven't fixed chronic constipation. You think that this is from the Stone Ages, from medieval times. You are gravely mistaken. People all over the world are chronically constipated. And that waste material, when your elimination is incomplete, simply if you cannot poop, if you cannot produce a bowel movement, the residues of all feces, there's this building up in layers and layers on the walls of your colon. As they putrefy, they will cause you health problems, pain, and discomfort. What is putrefy? Decay and rot. You can use another word, suppurate, S-U-P-P-U-R-A-T-E. That word means pus forming. Another word you can use is fester, like Uncle Fester from Addams Family. That's what's taking place in your colon if you cannot eliminate this waste material out. What other problems could you experience if you're dealing with chronic constipation? Well, you're going to be dealing with a combination of bloating and gas, abdominal pain, rectal bleeding, hemorrhoids, anal fissures, impaction, discomfort and general malaise, urinary problems, psychological impact, changes in bowel habits. In 2025, people are selling you whole body deodorants. Have you noticed? It's no longer these underarm deodorants from Old Spice, but people are selling you whole body deodorants. Why is that? One of the reasons must be people are chronically constipated. This waste material is not going out, but continues to decay and rot. And over time, this waste material is going to exude or ooze through the surface of your skin. Over here, this is a very long piece of pipework, right? So waste material is not going out. Just imagine if you leave trash in your home and you don't take the trash out. What's going to happen? That trash is going to rot, and your kitchen is going to start smelling really, really awful. It is going to go into your dining room area. It's going to go into your living room area. And even when you burp, you're going to find yourself repulsive. Even when you fart, you find yourself repugnant. You guys understand? Because when you're chronically constipated, this waste material still sits inside of you, and when you fart, it has to travel through a crevice, through the large intestines, and now you have to smell that waste material. Many people, they're avoiding you. If you're chronically constipated, they're avoiding you because of how nasty you smell. If this is you, you're this person on the left. You are huffing and puffing, begging and pleading. You're praying to the Almighty for something to happen. Maybe you're on your phone, you're texting your prayer warriors. You got veins on the side of your temples from severe straining. After all that work, what happens? A whole lot of nothing. You get a small little pebble in the toilet, and you're wondering, where did all that waste go? It's not going to just dissipate or magically go into the ether. It doesn't work like that. It's still somewhere in your body. Whatever foods you've been eating this past week, the past 2 weeks, if you're not going to the bathroom regularly, there's still remnants of that waste material trapped inside of you. And when you get up, You look yourself in the mirror, you see your eyes are bloodshot. Now, many of you have this misconception that people here in Asia were very, very skinny as a rail. That is incorrect. I live here in Asia, and it's very embarrassing. People are getting fatter and fatter every single year. Some of you should go travel out to Beijing. This is the Beijing bikini phenomenon over here. Men during the summertime, they just lift up their shirts because it's very, very hot during the summertime in Beijing. It's awful hot. You can see these are fairly young men, not even 40 years old, but they've already developed a dad bod. Why is that? Because when you're chronically constipated, you're packing in this waste material. Your colon is going to distend or dilate a little bit bigger, week over week, month over month, year over year. And before you know it, you are dealing with a lasting dad bod that's not going away. Now, I'm going to share with you several things that you can do to eliminate this waste material. But what did we talk about so far? We talked about human digestion. How many on this call, you never really looked at this digestive system in detail? Many of you, you're chronically constipated. If you're not going to the bathroom every single day around the same time, consistently, kind of like how a Swiss train just shows up in Zurich on time, you're chronically constipated. Your digestive system is a very long piece of pipework. It's 20 feet of pipework, roughly 6 meters. And today, I'm just going to give you the shopping list, a protocol that I've used since 2019. I'm very, very consistent with the protocol. Over here, just the broad basics. You got to get yourself some apple cider vinegar. That's the first thing you're going to begin. Next, you're going to buy yourself some citrus fruit, such as limes, lemons, or grapefruit. I highly recommend using grapefruit. They're the best tasting. But if you're on medications, there are a lot of grapefruit and medication interaction you want to avoid. Over here, this is pink salt, Himalayan pink salt. Over here, this black coffee prepared separately. Now, if you are screenshot this call, you want to screenshot this particular slide. This slide has the shopping list, okay? Upper left, upper right hand corner. This is a bottle of water. Bottle of water has about 2 liters in volume. Over here, this is a metal mesh strainer. Over here, this is a single press squeezer for your limes, lemons, and grapefruit. It's a lot easier to squeeze these fruits when you have one of these things. Next, you want to get yourself another set of measuring cups. You want to get you another set because this is a kit that you can reach for every single weekend. I do this every single weekend, just once a week. I do something to clean out the small and large intestines. How often do you brush your teeth? If you're not brushing your teeth every single day, best believe you'll be going to the dentist with gingivitis and cavities. Over here, this is your apple cider vinegar. This is the pink salt, Himalayan pink salt. You can also use food-grade Epsom salt or magnesium sulfate. People who may be worried about the sodium content in Himalayan pink salt, you can use that magnesium sulfate. This does not have any sodium. Over here, the single press squeezer. Oh, this is your stainless steel thermos. Apologize. So this is your stainless steel thermos. This has about 1 liter in volume. Over here on the upper left-hand corner, these are your stainless steel straws. And this is another stainless steel cup for your black coffee. You want to get these stainless steel straws because when you start drinking the solution, it's not going to taste great. But for many people, this doesn't bother them at all. If you get my protocol, I will teach you how to mix all these ingredients in the stainless steel thermos in the right proportions, in the right order. Because I've done so many of these different protocols throughout the years to detox my body. This is the one that works the best, the one that is the most consistent across the board. And what this protocol will do, it's going to help produce a laxative effect that's going to blast out all the waste material from your body. If you get my protocol, also in the live chat, you guys can go check it out. There's so many small little details you got to pay attention to. It's all about the small little details. Notice how over here, This is just a plastic bottle. Over here, stainless steel thermos. Over here, another cup for your black coffee without any sugar or cream added. Notice how none of these items, you cannot shatter any of these items. Many of you, you're lazy. You're like, oh, I have a very, very big glass container or ceramic container, or I have a glass pitcher. Please don't do that, because if you do my protocol and you follow my directions to a T, you will produce this laxative effect. This laxative effect, it is no joke. Do you guys understand? It's going to blast out so much waste material. Many people, they're knocking things over, running to the bathroom. What are we trying to do? If you're chronically constipated, you must find a way to clear out this pipework comprehensively. This is your colon. It's full of waste material, right? And you have to see the whole digestive system in its entirety. It's a very long piece of pipework. Why don't you reset your body by getting the waste material out? You got to do something that's going to produce a very strong laxative effect. This is the release the Kraken, the diarrhea tsunami, and this is not exaggeration. This is not hyperbole. I've done this over 6 years now, or over 5 years. Since 2019, I've been doing this, and every single week, I don't miss a week. And this resets your digestion. Afterwards, I even coach you what you should be doing to protect your small and large intestines with probiotics and replenish your body with electrolytes, and how you should be eating healthy moving forward. Don't you think that's going to make a lot more sense? You're trying to get six-pack abs in 2025 and beyond, right? But many of you, you're trying to do these crunches and HIIT exercises on top of a landfill. Or what landfill? Well, if you have a colon encrusted with old fecal matter, that's the landfill. Why don't you learn to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right? To get your body a fresh start, to restart your digestive system so you have these predictable bowel movements on a daily basis. When that is a much easier way for you to get your six-pack abs, because many people, they're just worried about, oh, I'm trying to do more crunches, trying to burn off this fat, right? Listen, you will be on the longest detour. I'm trying to give you guys a shortcut, but the shortcut's going to take a lot out of you, right? Number one, you got to learn. You got to increase your teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? And what is your willingness to accept change? I cover a lot of material regarding digestive health. But once again, I'm not a doctor, not a medical professional. Nothing I share is professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment. If you're dealing with any medical condition, you better check in with your doctor, naturopathic doctor, holistic care, integrated medicine, to put together to fix you up. This is just information. You're online right now. You're just swiping on YouTube Reels, YouTube Shorts, and then you come across information. Well, maybe is it by chance, or you are here for a reason. You're here because, hey, maybe this could be helpful information for you down the line. Now, that's the first protocol I want to share with you. You guys can hit that up. I have coaches all over the world, not just in the English language. I've also coaches here in Asia, people here in Taiwan, people over in Malaysia, Singapore. I've also translated my protocol in Arabic. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're coming from. This is Colton. He's from the US. He also used my protocol, found great success with it. We are all the same on the inside, this digestive system. I don't care what your religious beliefs are, your political background, your hair color, skin color. Just like what Tupac says, right? He says, we got to start making changes. Learn to see me as a brother instead of two distant strangers. Get your digestive system cleaned out through and through. You're going to do something. If you don't do it, your colon is going to get a little bit bigger every single year. On this call, I'm also going to cover a lot of information regarding liabilities, concerns. Many of you, you just put things off. You put things off. You don't think this is important. It's always on the back burner. You think, I'll get around to it another day. You're going to have the aha moment when you end up in the ER, in the ICU, and be like, back in September 2025, I listened to this guy on the internet. He told me to really fix my chronic constipation. I didn't do it, and that's why I'm here in the hospital. I'm going to share another freebie with y'all. So over here, this is colon hydrotherapy. Some of you, many of you, you may have to consider looking into this protocol first. What it says, it's going to help clean out the colon. All right, so once again, this is your digestive system. It's a very long piece of paperwork. And this is your colon right here, this green section right here. This is the feces formation. This is the ascending, transverse, descending portion of your colon. And every last one of you, you have this chart unless you already done some surgeries or procedures that remove certain portions of your digestive system. So before that happens, you want to go call your colon hydrotherapy. They call it a colonic. And what do? Well, they're going to have you lay down on this apparatus and going to have your feet kicked up. Afterwards, the colon hydrotherapist, they're going to put in hot water in your rectum to help excavate this waste material out of your body. How many of you done this protocol before? Okay, so this is very different than the protocol that I just outlined earlier, right? This protocol in my live chat, if you guys go click on that, this is not an enema. Any type of enema is something that you stick in your anus. I'm not joking. It could be a coffee enema. Some people, they do coffee enema. Some people do water enemas. This is a foreign water enema, but it has temperature to it. They're putting in hot water. There's the open system, there's the closed system. You want to learn everything you possibly can about any of these procedures before you proceed. Once again, what is the second lesson in personal development is your teachability index. Are you willing to set aside your favorite activities and actually confirm this information? Some of you, you have to go to your local library, go check out some books on human physiology. Many of you, such as myself, I didn't go to medical school for any of this. But yeah, you can learn this because these are systems. If it's a system, then it's something that you can learn and understand because you all have this pipework. Now, some people, they go to different detox retreats around the world. They have them in Mexico, Costa Rica, Argentina, Uruguay, and they go in there and the practitioners there, they tell these people, hey, you're going to have to do a colon hydrotherapy or colonic every single day while just being on a liquid diet. Don't eat any solid foods. So they go back every single day, they do this colon hydrotherapy, and every single day they are just so shocked because they keep finding new material coming out of them. Why is that? When you're chronically constipated, this waste material begins to build up in your colon, and it's going to harden. It's going to harden on the surface of your colon, and it's also going to distend or expand that colon a little bit bigger as week over week, month over month, year over year. So when they are doing this procedure, it's going to be a process. It's not going to be quick. Over time, they're going to loosen up really, really old waste material, and that waste material would eventually exit. And look into this. Maybe you're living out in the rural area. They're not going to have them out in the rural area. You have to go find them in the major city. You have to make an appointment with them and get this done. Of course, this is not professional medical advice. It's something you want to look into and evaluate, because some of you, you have to divide and conquer this waste material. What I mean by that is, when you're doing a colon hydrotherapy, it only targets the colon, this green section right here, this 1.5 meters, roughly 5 feet. They're putting in the hot water through the anus, waste material slowly exiting, getting excavated out of his colon. But understand, your small intestines, it's a very long piece of paper. That's the 4.5 meters to 15 feet. Your colon hydrotherapist, they have no way of reaching that pipework. So you may have to do a combination colon hydrotherapy on top of a protocol such as this, the one that I sell over here. You guys can go check that out in the live chat. And that's going to divide and conquer this waste material out. Right? Don't try to do everything all at the same time. And my protocol, this is for those of you who have a good presence of mind and you're thinking to yourself, listen, this 1 to 2 day, 2 to 3 day chronic constipation is a major problem. I need to fix it now. This is for people who are mildly chronically constipated. Of course, not professional medical advice, because if you are a week and a half into your chronic constipation, maybe this is your first go-to. Do you guys understand? Because it's all in your colon. You have to get it out somehow, some way. And there is a risk when you perform any of these protocols, because there are always risks if you do anything, right? Let's just say if you don't communicate very well with colon hydrotherapist, they're putting in this water pressure too quick. If they put it in too quick, you may get a tear or perforation in your colon. If that happens, that means the waste material, all your poop, is flowing out of your colon. Now you're going to sepsis shock or toxic shock. You're going to end up in the hospital. Many people, they do not make it back from a sepsis shock. And of course, there's going to be a risk if you don't follow directions. There's going to be problems if you do my protocol too, right? But best believe, if you don't fix chronic constipation, you're looking at a very, very dark future. Yo, what's going on? Romans 1:20, health, wellness. Appreciate you. And on this poll, you will see some very disturbing photos, because this is what you can expect if you don't fix chronic constipation early. You may end up with a toxic megacolon, because waste material is sitting there in your body, is not exiting. And over time, your colon just becomes completely stagnant. And the doctors, they're going to give up on this colon and says, hey, your colon is completely diseased. We're going to have to do a total colectomy and remove the colon entirely. This came out of a human being. This did not come out of some silverback gorilla. And it's more than just gas that is trapped inside. Let me tell you what's in here. It's the McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Baskin Robbins ice cream, Haagen-Dazs, Chinese food, Japanese food, sushi, sashimi, Korean barbecue, Texas barbecue, burritos from Chipotle. Maybe you had a couple of them. And if you're not going to the bathroom, you know this Chipotle Mexican grill, those burritos, they're pretty big. They are pretty big. And what are you been eating? DiGiorno's Pizza, California Pizza Kitchen. You just microwave a Hot Pocket. It's all in there. It's all in there. It's not going to disappear into the ether like magic. And you're saying, oh, I have chronic constipation, no big deal. But before that happens, I'm going to share with you what's going to very likely happen. And you want to look these up for yourself, because I'm just another regular guy. Appreciate it, man. Good health tips for something. Yeah. Yeah, earlier in this presentation, I don't know how long you've been on, I told people about what they need to do. For example, they may get my protocol, which cleans out the small, large intestines. This is a protocol that you shrink down, where they have to explore different options. This is colon hydrotherapy. There are many different modalities that are out there. People have to do their own research and find the right protocol that they can align with their doctor. But best believe, if you don't fix chronic constipation, you're looking at ulcerative colitis. Just imagine you have waste material sitting inside your colon. It's just going to continue to putrefy. What is putrefy? Decay and rot. You can use the word separate, pus forming, or you can use the word fester. Yeah, where are you from, Romans? Are you from the US? And when you have that much waste material sitting inside of you, not going anywhere, it's just going to continue to rot, right? It's just like you leave trash in your kitchen, you don't take the trash out, or you leave it in your garage, you miss the trash pickup. That waste material not is going to smell really awful. It's going to cause you a whole bunch of other problems. So over here, ulcerative colitis, it's going to develop this ulcerative surface. You may be dealing with diarrhea, bloody stools, abdominal cramps. And when you go to different GI doctors, they're going to test you for different things. 1 week, they may test you for H. pylori, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And before you know it, they're throwing down a whole bunch of antibiotics. When you're throwing down antibiotics, you're going to disrupt your microbiome because you do need probiotics to help you digest. And now your colon is becoming even more stagnant. Nothing is moving, but you're still dealing with the symptom flare-ups, the diarrhea, bloody stools, the abdominal cramping. Now the doctors are throwing down corticosteroids. Corticosteroids, such as they're immunosuppressants, biologics. And what this classification of drugs, what they do is they suppress your immune response. So in the short term, you're not really dealing with the symptom flare-ups. However, are you really resolving the root of the problem? Next, people are dealing with something called diverticulitis. Diverticulitis, this is inflammation, and you start to develop these irregular bulging pouches in the walls of the large intestines. Your colon should be a very, very smooth surface, but once again, chronic constipation, your colon is dilating or distending every single year. It's trying to pack in that waste material. Just imagine if you got this thing going on, and now they're going to keep on pushing this waste material, and they're going to develop into these irregular bulging pouches. And this is the type of environment that your parasites love to thrive in. Now, I'm going to cover a lot of information, not just how to clear this waste material out, but there are foreign invaders inside your body right now that you never really studied in your entire life. That's why you guys have to increase your teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn? And what is your willingness to accept change? Because most people, when they start to hear information outside their current scope of awareness, they want to block it off. They block it off because they don't want to sound stupid, or they don't want to feel stupid, right? I'm telling you, don't be like that. And don't just take my word for anything. You guys need to go hit the books for yourself. Go to your local library. Maybe there's a university professor. They are experts in parasitology. Hit the books. That's all I have to say. And when it comes to these different medical conditions, such as ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, or even Crohn's disease, there are countless medical books on this topic. Go read them up, so you know I'm not just making things up here on the internet. Crohn's disease, now you have inflammation not just in the large intestines, you also deal with inflammation in the small intestine. Once again, what are the symptoms? Diarrhea, stomach aches and cramps, blood in the stool, tiredness of fatigue, and weight loss. For some of you, you may completely lose the appetite to eat, and you're just getting weaker and weaker. Because nothing is ever right with your digestive health. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And most doctors, in a case like this, they keep throwing down corticosteroids. They keep throwing them down because that's what reduces your symptom flare-ups. But you're not really treating the problem at the root. And the more you learn about this, the more you understand that's how the system is designed. The system is designed to maximize lifetime customer value. Earlier I shared about the dangers of toxic megacolon, the doctors going in, they're removing the whole colon. Now, if you're dealing with diverticulitis, you have chronic inflammation, that's to say the descending portion of your colon, where you are developing these irregular pouches, you may have to do a left hemicolectomy. They're removing the part of the transverse and also descending portion of the colon, because certain parts of your colon, if it's just stuck with so much trash for such a long time, it's going to be diseased. It's going to rot. And the doctor's going to go in and remove the disease portion. After they remove that disease portion, they just reattach the remaining section. Or a certain portion of your colon they removed. Maybe they decided that, hey, this tail portion of the descending portion of the colon disease, so they remove it. After they remove it, you may be wondering how to use the bathroom moving forward. Great question. Great question. Well, first they're going to install a stoma through the abdominal wall to access your descending portion of the colon. After they put a hole in there, it's called a stoma, they're going to attach a colostomy bag. Many people, in the nursing homes, elderly care centers, they have this. But if you just do a hashtag search on colostomy bag stoma, you will find many young influencers that teach and coach other people. As I shared with you before, chronic constipation, this is an evergreen market. Nobody fixed chronic constipation. So as you know, people are doing these different types of surgeries. Maybe they're getting their colostomy, total colostomy, or they're doing different hemicolectomies. So all these products, stoma, colostomy bag, I don't even have to do the research. I know the search volume for those keywords are up. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. What else do we have? Let's just say the ascending portion of the colon gets messed up. Now the doctors, they're going to go in and remove this portion. And many people, this type of information, it really freaks them out, right? They want to avoid these type of images. Listen, I want you to look at this as often as you possibly can to give yourself a healthy dose of fear that will drive you towards some type of action to fix your digestive health. Your health is not going to get better on its own. Please do not think you're going to go to some pharmacy, pick up some laxatives, and all your problems going to just disappear like fog and sunlight. Over here, this is a major operation. This is called ileoanal anastomosis. What's happening over here? Well, a couple of things already happened. This patient already did a total colostomy. They removed the colon completely. Why did they remove it? Because the colon became deadened completely. And the doctors, they removed the green portion right here initially, right? So the colon completely gone. Now you may be wondering how to use the bathroom moving forward. Oh, they're going to reuse the remaining section of your small intestines. Remember the small intestines? Hey, can you tell me the symptoms of this synergistic defecation? I cannot, so I haven't really studied that out. But just tell me, what are you currently struggling with regarding, because they have so many names for different digestive problems. Are you going to the bathroom every single day? Is it coming out normal? So over here, they're using the small intestines and they reroute it to your anus. They reroute it to your anus and create a pouch. It's very likely you're going to have to wear adult diapers for the rest of your life. Okay? And these procedures are very, very expensive. They're not cheap at all. Many of you may complain about the price of my program. Listen, it's a small fraction what you'd be dealing with if you don't fix chronic constipation. So let's do a little bit of homework. We got somebody on here. Saraf, where are you from? All right. Functional pooping disorder occurs when the muscles and nerves in the pelvic floor fail to coordinate and control the bowel movement. Pelvic floor dysfunction can cause chronic constipation. Biofeedback therapy. Okay. I'm going to read about a little more. Makes it hard to poop. Lead to chronic constipation. How bad is your chronic constipation right now? Just talk to me. Are you going every other day, every 2 to 3 days? What have you tried so far? And for those of you who are on this call, listen. People think that we can go to a GI doctor and they're going to fix my problem. No. Many people already done that. And if you stay long enough on this call, I will share with you what other people have been doing. So total colostomy is going to range between 20,000 and 75,000. Hemicolectomy, 12,000 to 20,000. Ileoanal anastomosis, 39,000 to 50,000. If you're installed with a colostomy bag, expect to spend 3,000 to 7,000 per year just on the materials alone. It feels very tight and hard to poop. Not painful, but I poop thin, the path feels tight. Okay. What have you done so far? Let me know, have you done any of these protocols? For example, have you done a protocol that you drink down and that produces a laxative effect? Or have you done a protocol such as a colon hydrotherapy that cleans out the colon entirely? And different medications that you're on, that's going to cause you digestive health problems as well. For example, many people, they're throwing down non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, aspirin, ibuprofen. That's going to cause disruption. Okay, I'm experiencing this for about 3 weeks. What should I do? All right. So, how often are you going to the bathroom on a regular basis throughout the week? Because you may want to evaluate my protocol. So I have a couple options. If you don't want to buy the main program, I have a PDF. It's only $8. This $8 PDF is going to give you the specific directions that you need to mix these ingredients together in a specific ratio. And you got to follow directions. Okay? A lot of you can't follow directions. Nothing I say will help you. I don't know how to explain this because some people, they buy my program, they spend a lot of money buying my program. They're still not following directions. I told them, get yourself some measuring spoons. And they're like, I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm like, bro, you're not going to be successful in experience with it. Okay? So I'm going to hit this link. And I think you should be doing my protocol, of course, not professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. And this protocol right here, this is what saved me. Over here, I had a whole bunch of chronic constipation problems, not going to the bathroom, sometimes 2 to 3 days in a row, 3 to 4 days in a row. Very, very frustrating. And right now, I'm on the side completely. But I do this protocol once a week. I don't toy around with this. It's like, how often do you brush your teeth, right? You're not going to say, oh, I brushed my teeth yesterday. I don't need to do this again. There is a specific KPI for different parts of your body. For my digestive health, I'm doing this protocol once a week. Now, some of you, you may have to do this more than once a week because your digestive system is so caked up with waste material. And some of you, you may not do my protocol right away. You may have to consider a colon hydrotherapy. Okay, you don't take any drugs to some Ayurvedic medicine called Trifla. Okay, so that stuff, my experience, doesn't really work. Okay, you need something that is going to clear you out completely. You got to do this. This is what I do. If you follow my directions to a T in my protocol, you will release the Kraken, very likely. Of course, check in with your doctor, your medical professionals. You just need to do something, and there's going to be temperature to this. This is not going to be a room temperature solution. It's going to be quite warm, and you have to do this on an empty stomach, right? And on your table, if you follow my directions to a T, you will mix everything in the stainless steel thermos. I also highly recommend getting some stainless steel straws to gradually drink this down. This is something that you drink down. This is not an enema, okay? And if you follow every single set of my directions to a T, get this waste material blasted out, and after you get this waste material blasted out, you still have to recoat it back up with probiotics and replenish your cells with electrolytes. And you have to get back into healthy eating. Because there's a lot to this, because many of you, you don't look into this and you're severe straining on the toilet. This is what's going to happen. You're going to be developing hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids, these are swollen veins that happen and take place because you've been straining on the toilet for a very long time. Okay? How many of you dealt with hemorrhoids? Even I was dealing with hemorrhoids. Over here, I was going to the pharmacy, picking up Preparation H. You guys can find a lot of funny Preparation H commercials, even from 1980. Preparation H is such a popular drug. Well, how do I put it? It's the most popular hemorrhoid cream. Not only do they have creams, now they also have hemorrhoid wipes. And it's doing over $1 billion per year. Okay? And at one point, Pfizer was in control of the whole brand, and they decided to divest. Now it's owned by some other company. But I'm just saying this, you are developing hemorrhoids, and then you pick at it because it's very, very itchy, and now you're developing chronic infections in the form of anal abscesses. Or you're developing fissures. Fissures, these are cracks and splittings. Or some people are developing prolapses, rectal prolapses. And don't make fun of people who got this, elderly people that get this a lot, because many of them, they've been chronically constipated for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. All they want is eat a simple meal and use the bathroom. They cannot get this done. So over time, their rectum actually flips inside out. If you're around elderly people and go to the nursing home, you will find that all these elderly people, they have a very funky smell around them. Not because they don't wash their clothes, not because they don't shower regularly, it's because of this prolapsed rectum. There are always remnants of this waste material. What happens? How are you doing? What happened if you bleed? Well, are you bleeding when you're pooping, or are you just bleeding from hemorrhoids, right? So people are picking on these hemorrhoids, and they can bleed from that too. Now, when you go to your doctor, your primary care, what do? They tell you to go to see a proctologist. They call themselves the bottom whisperer. This is going to be a lot more invasive than any type of security checkpoint, because they're going to have you drop your pants and underwear. They stick on their latex gloves, and they're going to poke into your hole. Isn't that embarrassing? But that's what happens to people every single day. They're going to say, hey, you have these things developing in you. All right. So are you chronically constipated? So tell me, Mishka, where are you from? Are you chronically constipated? They're telling you having all these problems down here, right? But are you fixing chronic constipation? You have all this waste material that's not going out. You must get this waste material out of your body, go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right, to give yourself a chance to actually revive your digestive health. Now, I'm covering a lot of information. Earlier we discussed human physiology, because many of you don't even know anything about your digestive system. You're looking at the symptoms right now. People are saying, okay, I'm having some problems getting my poop to exit. It's coming out very thin. Some of you are explaining, okay, I am bleeding, right? Well, always roll this couple of things back. Really understand this pipe work and where you're dealing with the problem. Are you dealing with the problem at the root? Because if you're still severely straining on the toilet, you go to a proctologist, they're going to give that, they're going to do some search procedures. South Africa, all right, fantastic. Great to have you on here, Mishka. Well, I highly recommend you guys look into the different offerings that I have. All right, some of them, there's just PDFs, they're only $8. But if you want the comprehensive with video instructions, it's going to be an investment. I'll tell you why I price it this way, because I used to give out all information for free. And guess what happens? People don't do anything with it. They don't value free. Neuroscience tells you that you don't really value free. You may get a lot of information online, and then it's sitting down in your downloads folder. I even give you the shopping list. For example, I was like, this is what you need to begin, and you need to be prepared. You want to use stainless steel containers. You don't want to use plastic. You don't want to use glass or ceramic, because if you do my protocol and then you follow my directions to a T, it's very likely you will produce a diarrhea tsunami. You're going to blast out all the waste material. Why don't we get our digestive system right? By first learning about our digestive system, recognizing it's a very long piece of pipework, and many of us, we are chronically constipated. As chronic constipation is not going to disappear by itself, and this colon is going to dilate or distend a little bit bigger every single year. Over here, some people, their colon gets so messed up, now they're doing a total colostomy to get their whole colon removed. If you want to avoid that outcome, you want to be fixing chronic constipation early. But some of you, hey, are you in Johannesburg? Where are you from? Don't be scared about nothing. Don't let that kind of stuff scare you. If you're in Johannesburg, it's very likely you have colon hydrotherapy. If you're in a major city in South Africa, I want you to start calling these people up. Call them up and let them know your situation, because many of you don't even understand these different modalities or treatment procedures exist. So the colon hydrotherapist, they're going to put in hot water in your rectum to begin to help you excavate this waste material out of your colon. Now, don't be afraid of any of that stuff. Always think about get the waste material out. All right. I am not familiar with South Africa. How many hours is that from Johannesburg or from a major city? Pat Moyden, isn't it amazing? I love, everybody coming on the call, wherever you're from. We're all the same on the inside. That's what I love about human digestion, because best believe, I don't care if you're from India, from South Africa, you're from the Middle East, you're from Asia, we all have the same digestive system. You listen to Tupac, remember what Tupac says? We got to start making changes, right? Learn to see me as a brother instead of two distant strangers. This has a lot to do with it. So I want to give you these tools, all right? And you have to invest in yourself a little bit. If you get this right here, the No BS Guide to the Digestive System, and this other one, Get Rid of Internal Parasites, these two PDFs very likely will help you get you in the right direction. But it's not enough for you to get some information today, right? You actually have to do the protocols. Your teachability index has to go way up right now if you want to fix your health, because I guarantee you it's a 4-hour drive to Johannesburg. Okay, so what you got to do, you want to call up people in Johannesburg. Here, let's do some research. Johannesburg, here we go. Is this in South Africa? I just want to double check. All right, we got a couple of different options, all right? So I think this is definitely in South Africa. So they got a couple of different locations. You want to call them up. And it's important for you just to do as much research as you possibly can. Here's another one, colon health. And you want to communicate very well with them, let them know your situation, because just make sure they're not putting in the water pressure in too quick, right? And afterwards, just recognize that when they do colon hydrotherapy, they're not cleaning out both the small and large intestine. They're only cleaning out this green section right here. Only this green section. So you still need a way to clean out the small intestines, because a lot of garbage and trash can end up in the small intestines as well. So give you guys some liabilities concerns, because many people, you think that, oh, I can go to a doctor, they can fix me up, right? Wrong. You're going to have to learn to fix yourself. That's the best advice, one of the best advice I can give you. People are going on YouTube, going on, I would say, Facebook, Reddit forums. These are Facebook private groups. There are chronic constipation relief support groups with tens and thousands of people in them. What are people saying? They say things like, hey, I'm impacted. All home remedies, OTC laxatives, enemas, dietary changes, additions, nutritional oils, quit working last month. All of a sudden, the ER can reach it, and their enemas didn't work. The highest doses of lenses does nothing, and the Miralax colonoscopy prep giving me overflow diarrhea. Small bits are coming off the impaction. Probably from the hospital, enemas, anxiety. What else can I do? I feel like the impaction is way too big to get out. and it seems that nothing is softening enough. So this is very quickly, people are saying they're impacted. You want to begin to break down this small little paragraph and define the words. What is impaction? What is the definition of impaction? Impaction is simply severe chronic constipation where a large, hard mass of stool gets stuck in the colon or rectum, making defecation extremely difficult. So instead of you making fun of this person, this could be you. They've tried so many things already. They already tried the all-home remedies like the OTC. What is OTC? These are over-the-counter. They've already tried the over-the-counter medications. Then they went to the ER because it's impaction. This impaction was so problematic. They went to the emergency room. At the emergency room, they couldn't reach it, and they tried some type of enema. It did not work. The highest doses of lenses does nothing. So that means they've already gone down to the GI office. Maybe the GI doctor started them off with a lower dosage, but over time it stops working. Now they're working with the highest dosage of this prescription strength laxative, and nothing is working. Can you guys hear the hopelessness in their voice? Hey, one thing I want to ask you is, have you done any Parasite Cleanse? Is this on your radar? Mishka, are you dealing with parasites? It's very likely most of you're dealing with parasites. If you just give me a few minutes, if you have some attention span, I'm going to give you great information that most of you are overlooking right now, because many of you don't even know how to get rid of internal parasites. And many of you, you're completely blocked. Many of you, you're completely blocked. So many of you don't even know these parasites exist. They're very, very common. And these are not microscopic. These are not single-cell protozoan parasites. These are full-blown organisms. You don't need a magnifying glass. You don't need a microscope. You don't even have 20/20 vision. You can see it because it can grow to such an incredible size. Liver fluke. We got pinworms, tapeworms, and roundworms. People are finding worms in their Whole Food Market salmon. This is a pretty upscale supermarket in the US. But people are finding worms in their Costco salmon. Costco over 800 warehouses worldwide. Over here in Canada, they're saying at the Real Canadian Superstore, Alberta made its first known Canadian case of worms from grocery store raw salmon. Listen, he wasn't the first, he's not going to be the last. What we got here is we've been studying parasites for a very, very long time. Guys, pay attention to this. Since 1892, there's been a dedicated national parasite collection in the US. There are millions upon millions of specimens in this collection every single year. The number of specimens only continues to increase because our knowledge base regarding parasites continues to increase. Now, not every last one of these parasites attack the human body, but they find other parasites that live in other organisms. For example, you might see these videos, they're saving these turtles, right? And on this turtle, there are a lot of these barnacles. Barnacles, those are parasites. They're hermaphrodites. There are many books out there. You guys want to go hit the books. Once again, go hit the books. Go to the Library of Congress, go to archive.org. There are many free resources online. There's A Century of Parasitology, the Journal of Parasitology. They've been doing these publications for hundreds of years. Go look them up. But this information is occulted from you. This information is hidden away from you. They do not want you to know this information, Mishka. They want you to be lost. They want you to go around in circles. How many of you are pet owners? Do you own any pets, such as cats and dogs, rabbits and ducks? Or if you're around farm animals, many animals, they have different types of fleas and pests and parasites, and they can transfer from their body to your body. Now, this is one of the most problematic parasites that's out there. You want to study up on this liver fluke. Liver fluke, they hatch in water, and they work their way up through different organisms. They may attack a snail, grow to a certain size. They exit the snail, and then they land up on some vegetation. And this cow or the sheep, they consume this vegetation. They continue to survive. And people are eating meat undercooked or very, very raw. Now this liver fluke's eating inside of you. If you look on Animal Planet, I got cats and dogs. Okay, you gotta find ways to detox your cats and dogs as well. So this lady right here, she was in so much pain and discomfort, digestive problem. She went to the ER. And being in the ER, they ran a whole bunch of tests. Told her, we can't find anything wrong with you, just go home. Have you been in that situation before? You're running a whole bunch of tests because doctors, most of them, they're not trained to look for internal parasites. Let me say that again. Most doctors, they are not trained to look for internal parasites because they know if you actually get rid of internal parasites, it's very likely you'll get better and better and heal. They don't want you to heal. You guys understand? Finally, she was able to come across a doctor. His name is Dr. Jeffrey Basile, Basile. If you are in Charleston, South Carolina, you are in luck because that's where he practices now. There are different worms. Different worms, they can do different things. They can target different organs like the liver fluke. They can target your liver. Ask anybody in ranching if they raise cattle and sheep. Liver fluke is inside their liver. They have to take different medications and herbs to get rid of them. Or if you're eating raw liver, it's very likely you're going to get liver flukes. Did you guys know this liver fluke is classified Group 1 carcinogen by the International Agency of Cancer? Liver flukes, okay? As a human biological agent of this cholangiocarcinoma. All right, let me just pop in this URL in here. You guys can go read up for yourself. This is no joke. But do you ever hear this on the nightly news? Do you ever hear this on the nightly news? Because they don't want you to heal. They want you to go in circles. So any of you, you are consuming a lot of rare or undercooked. Do you eat, what type of foods do you eat? Because in South Africa, I mean, you have so many different cultures, so many, and there are people, they eat a lot of bushmeat, right? A lot of, best believe when they eat that stuff, they're getting parasites inside of them. This is the tapeworm. Tapeworms are very, very common. They have a rostellum that hooks into your body. And who is that person still here? The person earlier, Surav? Listen, Surav, you want to pay attention to this because the reason why could be, you know, you're having problem pooping is because this is in the way. Tapeworms are very common. You can find them in fish products. You can also find them in pork products and also beef products. They're different species of tapeworms. Go look them up. This is your anatomy. And these guys, they are hermaphrodites. So they reproduce all on their own through these progotids. Inside one progotid, it can hold up to 100,000 eggs. This is somebody in Thailand. They pulled out a tapeworm that was 59 feet, or roughly 18 meters. This is the type of obstruction that I'm talking about. Many of you, you're having problems with your digestive health. You are bleeding. You're not pooping regularly. Have you considered that your body is like an Airbnb? Okay, you have so many parasites living inside of you, you don't even know about. They're just going to continue to survive and replicate using your resources. Any of you, if you consume different intestinal products, you like to eat raw fish, seafood, hot pot, street food. If you're eating street food, it's very likely you're going to eat internal parasites. And for your pets, you have to look into roundworms. Of course, they could be infected with other worms as well, but roundworms are also very common. According to medical texts, this is affecting around 800 million to 1.2 billion people worldwide. 800 million to 1.2 billion. Don't you think that's a lot of people? This is the obstruction that I'm talking about. You may have so many roundworms sitting inside of you. This is not pasta. If you're dealing with stomach cramps and pain, nausea, swollen lymph nodes, all sorts of digestive problems, even developing skin problems, eczema, hives, and itching. You may be dealing with a lot of internal parasites, because parasites, they extract nutrients from you, they continue to survive and replicate inside of you, and they continue to poop right inside of you. Have you guys thought about that? Their waste material just gets recycled inside your body, and you're wondering why your body is getting worse and worse over time. You guys got to clean house, because these different organisms, they can target other organs such as your liver, your pancreas, your kidneys. They can go all over your body. Over here, these are roundworms getting expelled out of an American bully. This is the tapeworm getting extracted out of a cat. And over here, this is a botfly. Yo, Mishka, I'm not, right? Botflies are very common in Africa. And they're no joke. So I would say that people in Africa, you guys have a much, much better understanding about parasites, or it's just more common knowledge, but it's not common knowledge in the West. People in the West, they just turn a blind eye. They don't want to even acknowledge that this is very, very possible. Well, so what you should be doing, all right, we got a couple of different things. You want to look into clove bud extract. You want to look into wormwood extract, garlic extract, oregano. There are different products out on the market. They already have them mixed in for you, but you want to work with them with a doctor, naturopathic doctor, holistic care. You have to work with the herbal products, and you may have to consider OTC medications, because different medications, different drugs, different herbs, they target different parasites. But you don't want to just go after them without having some protocols in place, because I don't like to jump around. Many of you, you have to do my protocol, or you have to do something that's going to clear out the small and large intestines combined. After you can do that, and you have that consistency in place, you can blast out the waste material. So you have to invest in my protocol. Whether you do the $8 one or you do the $280, because I don't know how people gonna live. I mean, it's an investment in your own health, right? It's something that you do, but it's gonna help you for the rest of your life. I mean, my own family members, they do this regularly. I don't even have to convince them, because they know their health is getting better and better. Because I don't recommend people just jump around and start with this first, because if you're chronically constipated, you can't get the waste material out. You take these herbs, not only are you dealing with the waste material you currently have, now you have the dead parasites inside of you that you can't even get out. Once again, divide and conquer this waste material. Next, you also got to deal with parasites that can go outside of your digestive system, and they can target your brain or even your muscle tissues. If you have dealing with your pets, look for the herbals first, okay? Work with the herbals. Yeah, this is a good way for you to determine if you have a good vet, because some of these vets, they don't care. They're not going to detox your worms out of your pets, because they know if they don't get rid of the worms, you're going to go back for the next problem. The pets are going to get sick. I'm trying to teach you guys to look at the problem at the root. So, clove bud, right? This one herb, it's been used for hundreds of years for parasitic infections. So, clove bud, you want to go look that up. You can get this in tincture form. You can get this as a powder. And there are many different products. You want to go study up. So I'm sure in South Africa, you actually have access to different websites. You know, you can look them up. Some of them you can probably get access. You want to use screenshot this so you can start looking up if you can get some of these products. Like this one right here, this is OTC. This is called Vermox. It's metabolism. The intestinal edge, or Gaia herbs. This is wormwood and black walnuts. And over here, Panicure C. This is for your pets. This is for your dog. Intestine Pro, this is more of an herbal product. The reason why I know about these products is I use so many of them. And over the years, I just see the trajectory of my health just getting better and better and better. This is what I recommend. First of all, learn to detox your small and large intestines. Once again, my name is John, okay? And I've been on this detox journey for a very long time. I've coached myself, my own family members, and hundreds of people around the world how to get this done. And I highly recommend for them to first, you need to do something that cleans out the small and large intestines. And a lot of you don't even know what your digestive system is all about, so you have to go learn human physiology. Once you're proficient with this first protocol, you can produce that laxative effect. You can blast out the waste material from the small and large intestines. Then you can consider doing parasite detox. And under the guidance of your doctor, naturopathic doctor, holistic care, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you professional medical advice. You guys are on your own. All I can say is, right now, you have to be an expert on your own health, on your own body. Your body is telling you things every single day. But many of you, you keep on ignoring. You put it on the back burner. You think you'll get around to another day. Today, I just told you, one of these parasites is a group 1 carcinogen. All right? This one right here. This liver fluke. It's a group 1 human biological carcinogen. Because parasites, they will bully your organs one by one, because they're going to get inside your liver, for example. They're going to seize you. They're going to occupy your organ. They're going to capitulate your organs one by one. When we go to a scan, get a scan done at the hospital, they don't look at internal parasites. They just see you have a tumor. They see that you have some type of a growth. Before you know it, they're recommending radiation or chemotherapy. And the next part I'm going to teach you, I'll give you ideas about how you can improve your liver health. I mean, it's a lot. I'm covering a lot of ground, but that's a progression, right? It's a progression how you're going to recover your health. You have to study human physiology. You have to learn about these herbs for yourself. You have to learn about your own anatomy. You have to learn about your internal organs one by one, how these different pipes are connected together. So you can go to the hospital. You're not going to be one of these persons like, I don't know what I'm looking at, because that's what happens to most people. The doctor's putting up the scans. They don't even know what they're looking at. And now you're at a complete disadvantage, right? Because they're going to take advantage of you in that situation. With all your emotions of fear and wonder. Hey, tell me a little bit about yourself, Vishka. So what are you doing in South Africa? You know, are you an educator? Are you a teacher? Yeah. I don't know if it's still on here, but yeah. You guys, there's a live chat. You guys can actually put in the live chat. Let me know where you're from, you know, and I can kind of guide you through this. And I hope you call up your colon hydrotherapist. Healthy gut, healthy life, right? And they teach you what is colon hydrotherapy, colon irrigation. But recognize that this is not the end-all be-all, right? You still have to restore your diet. This is not, you don't want to be dependent on this. Some people, they become dependent on this. And see, this is what I'm talking about. See, they got these beautiful charts. See, in every doctor's office, they have stuff like this. You guys can learn. We all have this, guys. If you haven't done any surgical procedures, you have this. It's such a beautiful photo. You guys can learn. See, this is where your small intestines is connected to your large intestines, the ascending, transverse descent, right? You're studying nursing at this moment. Wow, That's awesome. You're in the right place. So this a lot of stuff that I'm sharing with you, right? It's very funny because yesterday somebody was in medicine in Baltimore. He showed up on my call, or the day before, I forgot. And then the day before that, I was talking to this medical student or pre-med out of New Jersey, right? So this is definitely up your alley, but let me tell you, they're not going to share a lot with you regarding parasites, even in nursing, okay? As a nurse, it's very, very hard. You don't really have a voice. You're just kind of following exactly what they tell you to do. And so you're pretty young. So how old are you right now? I want you to hit the books. It's very important for you not only hit the books you're reading right now in school, but you also need to hit up books like this, The Amazing Liver and Gallbladder Flush, because I'm basically recovering my organs one by one. As you know, many people, they're dealing with a congested gallbladder, right? How deep are you in nursing? Have you studied this part already? Have you studied gallstones and different surgical procedures regarding gallbladder removal surgery? Because you know, people are dealing with this, right? Ugh, you're a nursing student. Yeah, I'm. All right, give me a little bit of break. Let me take a short break. You're 30. Okay. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so let me guess. Were you born in 1995? Is that correct? So you were born the year of the pig. So this is the year where you gotta relax, okay? This is not the year to do a whole bunch of risky things. And right now it's 3:30 p.m. I'm just gonna copy and paste some of my links across my social media. I'm simultaneously broadcasting. Okay, so you're 30, you're the pig. All right. Well, oh my goodness, I didn't even go live on this. Son of a. Oh well. So many buttons to push. All right, so you're probably pretty good at eating. People who are the pig sign, they can put down a lot of food. And you can also hit me up on my X in the future if you have any questions for me. "9:31, yeah, that's about right. You guys are a couple of hours behind. 6:30, yeah, 6 hours behind. So you're going to class? What's going on? No class today? I don't want to take you away from your school priorities. All right, so I'm going to talk about liver health. Here we go. And this stuff, even your teachers can't even teach you. Your liver is the largest internal organ that you have. If you want to major on the majors, you want to major on this blood filtering organ. In your entire body, you only have about 1.5 gallons of blood, a little bit less than that. But your liver is filtering 250 gallons of blood every single day. So it's just going through. When you're thinking about your liver, so think of it as a filter. It's filtering out all the waste material. And over time, this liver is going to get tired. It's going to be filled up with a lot of waste material. Many people, they go from healthy liver and over time turns into a fatty liver, liver fibrosis, and liver cirrhosis. I want you guys to take a careful look at all these intrahepatic bile ducts, okay? these intrahepatic bile ducts that go very, very deep inside your liver in every direction. This is your gallbladder. The gallbladder is connected to your cystic duct and extends very, very deep inside the intrahepatic ducts. And this is where your bile is stored. Bile is very important to help you break down fats. If you can break down your fats, then you can assimilate fat-soluble vitamins. Now, many people, they are congested with the gallbladder initially, full of gallstones. As I mentioned before, different parasites, they can penetrate through the intestinal walls. True, you're right, they don't teach us about that yet at home today. Yep, so many different parasites, they can penetrate through the intestinal walls, and they can travel up through the common bile duct. They're going to start to disrupt what's taking place inside the gallbladder, causing a lot of disruptions. And over time, they could turn themselves into gallstones because your body is trying to protect itself, or different where you have a congestion that is stuck inside the common bile duct. If you believe in prayer, I want you guys to really pray for your common bile duct because it has so many responsibilities. The common bile duct, it extends very deep inside your liver. These are your detoxification pathways. If the common bile duct is stuck in any way with gallstones or any type of congestion, fluids, they're going to build right back into your liver. And this is where the deterioration takes place. The gradual damage that takes place in your liver from healthy to fatty to fibrosis to cirrhosis. And many people are dealing with this right now. So I highly recommend that you need to find different ways to get these gallstones out of the gallbladder. And over time, even the congestions in the intrahepatic ducts can exit. Of course, they don't teach you this in medical school. They do not teach you this in nursing school. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor at all. Listen, I'm just another regular guy, okay? It's a regular guy who recovered his own health, thankfully, gratefully. And the reason why I study this because nobody's teaching this, right? So I had to go hit the books myself. And over here, you want to go read this book cover to cover. In chapter 4, he has a protocol that outlines what you should be doing to get the gallstones out of the gallbladder into the duodenum, the beginning part of your small intestines. In chapter 5, he also has another chapter that teaches you how you can reverse the kidney damage. As you know, Mishka, when people are dealing with a gallbladder attack, what do? They go to the hospital tells them the only thing that we have for you is the surgery, the gallbladder removal surgery. They're going to poke 4 holes into you. It's not an open surgery. I mean, right now, they have... My doctor, I sound like a doctor, you're very good at what you're doing. Well, I just don't think we should complicate what we're studying here, because these are different parts of the body, right? And you've seen this chart many, many times, and you know every human being, we're all dealing with this. So what can we do to upgrade our organs one by one? Because this is what they try to offer in the medical school, in the medical industrial complex, right? And this is a very profitable surgery. Over 1.2 million surgeries done. And this number is only increasing. As you know, one of the biggest problems people are having in the world is non-alcoholic fatty liver, right? And it's averaging, this is if you have insurance in the US. So this is a $5.5 billion industry before any post-surgery complications. All I'm saying is, I have been releasing these gallstones and intrahepatic stones out of my own body. These are photos that I took in my own home. Now, some people, they don't believe me. They think that this is created by ChatGPT. I do not care. You guys can believe whatever you want. All I can say is, whatever problem that I used to have, they all went away. No more joint pains, deeper sleep, faster recovery time from sports and injuries, restored sexual performance, libido health, no longer have to take any of those supplements, faster metabolism, zero weight loss rebound, faster hair and nail growth. I have to cut my nails twice a week. Overall youthfulness, run longer, lift heavier with the supplementation. Listen, people around my age, they don't look like me. They just don't look like me. How old do you think I am? Just you can throw out a number out there. So these are the books. I highly recommend reading both of these books. And also there's another book I highly recommend. It's called Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. So I want to highlight this book about. Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. Okay, this is another powerful book. And it may be tough to find this book. The reason why they don't want you to know about this book, I look 20. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Mishka. Well, I'm definitely not 20, but I do feel younger and younger as the years progresses because I've been making so much changes and progress in my own personal health. Because before, I was having all these problems, joint problems, right? Restless feet syndrome. I don't know if you know what that is. That went away. Nasal congestion. They all went away. They all went away. Why? Because I started to clean myself from the inside. Remember, at the beginning of my presentation, we focus on human digestion. We got to get the waste material out. I'm going to be 45 in a few days. I kid you not. 45. I was born in 1980. Can you believe that? So over here, most people, this is when I was in my 30s. In my 30s, I was just gaining weight, can't achieve six-pack abs. And you can tell a lot about a person just by looking at their face, right? Looking at their face. And you're going to learn a lot today because I'm also going to cover information, what you'll be expecting. Are you going to be working in the ICU? What are your goals? So over here in chapter 5 in this book, he has these herbs that he teaches you how you can mix together in a very specific set of proportions. And it's going to help you reverse the stages of kidney damage because many people, they're messed up. They got so much kidney damage, but as you know, what are they recommending? They want you to do dialysis. I'm just saying the reason why people are going to dialysis is because their kidneys are no longer filtering the blood properly. Right? So I appreciate that, Mishka. See, we got people in real nursing school and they're like, hey, they find a lot of value what I'm teaching right here. I was surprised too. I mean, a couple of days ago, the guy from Baltimore, he's like, he's in medicine. I tried to fish for his information. I was like, are you internal medicine? He wouldn't tell me, because I probably would look him up. I will look him up online because I'm interested in things like that, so how people practice. But he stayed on for like over an hour. And everything that I keep saying, he's like, yo, this guy is on point, So you can reverse the signs of kidney damage if you get it early. And I think this modern day, because people, their liver is failing, right? So liver, 250 gallons of blood every day. Your kidneys doing about 50. If your liver is in trouble, your kidneys, they're in trouble. You're going to have not only kidney problems, you're going to have bladder problems, you're going to have prostate problems. Because there's so many toxins that's trapped inside here. One of the things that you learn in medical school is like, okay, when people are dealing with, let's just say, diabetes, type 1, type 2 diabetes, many people, they just jump to, oh, you have this thing called insulin resistance, right? You have insulin resistance, now you have to be on metformin, you have to take the either insulin medications. Have you ever thought about, hey, we have this organ right here that produces insulin. What if I have any blockages that is taking place? If I have anything that is blocking the insulin from flowing into the duodenum, this person cannot regulate blood sugar levels. Are you still with me, Mishka? How about another way of saying this? What if there are internal parasites attacking my pancreas? Here's another PubMed article I'm going to put up. It's going to be Ascaris-induced pancreatitis. So over here, Ascaris-induced pancreatitis. I'm going to pop it into the live chat. You can check that out. So this article says, Ascaris infestation as an unexpected cause of acute pancreatitis. Your pancreas, your pancreatic cells, they are responsible for insulin production. As you discovered before, these different parasites, they can go through different parts of your body. This one is in the liver. This doctor is pulling out these roundworms one by one, and these roundworms are stuck inside the colon. The doctor is using that scalpel, right? This is an open operation. This is a very, very open operation, and they're removing all these roundworms. Is it possible that people are dealing with type 1, type 2 diabetes? They got roundworms chewing up this pancreas or any type of obstruction that is stuck in the pancreatic duct. You have two of them, right? You have the Warson at the bottom, and you got the Santorini on top. Any type of obstruction, you're going to have a difficult time regulating blood sugar levels. That's what I'm talking about. And when you're dealing with elevated blood sugar levels, hemoglobin glycation, what happens next? You're going to be dealing with edema. If you're going to be working in the ICU, my mom just got diagnosed with diabetes. Fantastic. Yeah, so Fang, yeah. So I want you to look into what I'm sharing with you here. How's your mother's digestion? Is she using the bathroom every single day, regularly on the dot, like a Swiss train in Zurich, always on time, and is always coming out perfect? Or she's having difficulty with that as well. That's where I would begin. I've discussed a lot of content earlier regarding digestive health. So later on, Mishka, you might be working in the ICU. In the ICU, I'm going to just prepare you. What you will be seeing, you will see many, many patients with this all day, every day. They're going to say this is edema, fluid retention, but many people, they're already dealing with diabetes. Diabetes, you're going to have hemoglobin glycation. The blood viscosity, if you're taking notes, blood viscosity is going to go up. As I'm sharing these things with you, you know I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but you can say that, yo, this homeboy is on point. He knows what he's talking about. And when your blood viscosity is going up, you're going to have a very difficult time for that blood to circulate back into your body. But your body's so screaming for oxygen, right? And now your heart's going to work harder and harder. And your blood pressure is going to go up as well as a result. But what doctors usually do in a situation like this is they're going to have you take diuretics, right? They just want you to somehow get the fluids out of your body using that drug. I say, listen, we have to fix our internal organs, especially if you're 30. Start fixing them. Don't wait. You're already dealing with some digestive health issues around the colorectal area. DM me. Okay, maybe we can work out something because I want you to just do my protocol. If you get your okay from your doctor, because the ingredients are very, very simple. This is the ingredients list. I'm not using anything fancy. And we are talking about, what do we talk about? We're talking about a bottle of water, a metal mesh strainer, single press squeezer, limes, lemons, or grapefruit. Highly recommend using grapefruit. Apple cider vinegar, pink salt. All right. If you don't want to use pink salt, you can use food grade Epsom salt. This does not have any sodium in it. Stainless steel thermos, stainless steel straws, and over here another stainless steel cup for your black coffee that is also optional. And over here, you're going to get yourself another set of measuring cups because you're going to be using this once a week. This is a detox kit. I don't want you have all these different items all around your kitchen. You can't find them. No, you have it in one single location. When I travel, I take this with me. I kid you not. When I travel, because if you have any downtime, it's going to take me a couple of hours to do, right? So I got some downtime. I'm going to do this protocol. I'm going to clean out the small and large intestines completely. Give myself a fresh start, right? And you're gonna feel a lot better. You're gonna rest a lot deeper because you don't have the waste material putrefying, rotting, and decaying inside of you. But if you talk to your doctor, even talk to your professors about this, they're gonna say, Mishka, stop watching these random videos on the internet. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That's what they do, because they don't actually want to give you real information as outlined in these books that can help you reverse your liver damage, help you reverse kidney damage, because they just want to go through the same old and same old. And especially people are dealing with prostate problems. Thanks for you, ready. This is really useful information. Appreciate it, Sofang. Yeah, I got this link. You guys just evaluate what's right for you. How about that? You know, I got inexpensive things, I got more expensive things, I even have one-on-one coaching. It's up to you to pick and decide what is right for y'all. And I know you just jump on the call, Sofang. Where are you from? And I want you to know that I cover a lot of information earlier, and I'm gonna get this video uploaded after some edits so you guys can review the information that I covered. It doesn't always upload, so why don't you guys subscribe so you guys hit the notification bell, so when I do put out content on here, it costs you guys nothing to subscribe. Detox in this order. You don't want to be jumping around doing detox protocols without an accurate understanding how your body works. You have to learn human physiology. You have to up your teachability index, increase your willingness to learn, hit the books, hit the podcasts. Maybe you got to attend some conferences in person. Maybe you got to take some online courses to really help you understand information. Next, detox the small and large intestines. There are different modalities out there. Some people may do some type of a salt flush protocol. Some people may do a colonic colon hydrotherapy. Some people may do a coffee enema. There are so many different things on the spectrum. But what are they trying to do? You're dealing with a very long piece of pipework. If you're not going to the bathroom, best believe that trash is not just going to disappear. It's not. And many of you ignore the early signs of chronic constipation, and now your colon's is going to get bigger and bigger every single year until they can no longer pack in that information, pack in that waste material, and you may have that colon burst. It is a possible outcome. You may get a perforation. Now you're going to the hospital because you're dealing with sepsis shock, or you'd be dealing with most people do not come back from a sepsis shock. Next, you gotta evaluate these different parasites. Don't just close off your mind to this information. I hope you do teach more. It's your gumber later. I'm going from Algeria. Oh wow, you're all the way from North Africa. That's amazing. We got South Africa. We got Algeria. That's awesome. That is awesome. I have a good friend. She's got family. Well, she's from the south of France, right? But she has family members in Morocco and Algeria. Yeah, very, very awesome person. So you want to learn how to do parasite detox. You want to go about it intelligently. You have to know your enemy, because most of you're not even aware of this parasite detox or what parasites are. Then most of you watch these videos, you get afraid. You're like, I don't want to be watching. You push it off into a corner, right? You're like, this doesn't exist. This cannot be happening to me. This only happens somewhere else in the world. No, millions upon millions of people with one parasite, if I remember correctly, roundworms. 800 million to 1.2 billion people worldwide are infected with roundworms. Pinworms are also very common. According to some medical texts, this is affecting almost 1 billion people worldwide. Pinworms, if you are experiencing any type of itchiness around the colorectal area, or you have this urge to always scratch, or you're watching adults, they're doing that scratch. They're probably dealing with pinworms. Don't you think 1 billion people? Don't you think that's a lot of people from all socioeconomic classes? Parasites, they don't care what type of passport you hold. They don't care how much money you make. They only think about survival, replication, adaptability. That's it. And before you know, you keep on ignoring them, they're going to end up in your brain. This is called neurocysticercosis. And parasites, it's going to be an ongoing project. Because when you start taking these herbs, right, and you try to get rid of them, parasites, they know that too. Remember, they're programmed to do a couple of things. Survival, replication. So when you start taking these herbs, they see that their population is dying off. They're going to kick into stress-induced reproduction. You guys write that down. Write that down in your notes. When you start going after parasites, they're going to go into stress-induced reproduction. They're like, oh, something is happening to our population here. And to make a last-ditch effort, we're going to go into egg reproduction, as many as possible, or you can call it terminal investment, fecundity compensation. There are many different words that they use, but just recognize these worms, they're very good at doing that. They know how to survive and replicate, not only in your body, but also in your pets. And many of you, many people around the world, they are loaded up with corticosteroids. Mishka, I'm going to test you. What is corticosteroid therapy? Put it in the live chat. I'm going to test you nursing students. Have you looked at these your blood side, at your own blood slide before? Have you identified different white blood cells? That's a very, very practical thing to do. Let me tell you a little bit about my background. So I did have a keen interest in biology when I was in high school. Back in high school, I was trying to learn a lot of biology, chemistry, physics. But biology, that was I had a really good teacher back then. And we were looking at slides all the time. I can probably, if you give me a couple of hours, I can probably identify these white blood cells, if I can just get back into that gear, because I used to have to count them. Oh, that was a lot of work. But tell me, what are corticosteroid therapy? I want you to define corticosteroid therapy. I want to get your take. What does it do? So could an animal affect a human with those parasites? Absolutely. Many people, they do things like this. So thanks you for that question, Sophian. So many people, they sleep with their pets. Pets, they groom each other. You can see they lick each other. Sometimes even a dog will groom a cat, or a cat, they would start licking a dog, or they would start licking their private parts to clean themselves. But they start to lick everywhere else too. And some dogs, they're so stupid, they start to eat the feces of other dogs. That's not by accident. Let me tell you what parasites can do to your body. Your parasites, they can end up in your brain. They can tell you what to do. They can make you do some really irrational behavior. The reason for that is parasites, just like any other organism, they need genetic diversity. Have you guys studied the royalty? Let's just say if you study the Habsburgs in Europe, at some point, they started to have so many genetic defects because they keep interbreeding in their own family line. And now, their family members, they're having all these genetic birth defects, and they're like, oh, maybe this is not a good idea for us to do this. Parasites, they also understand this. It's wired in their DNA. So what they have to do is, what you need to do, you have to go consume this raw fish. Or you want to go eat this undercooked meat. You have this insatiable desire to do these things. Okay? And that's how they can increase their genetic diversity. Like right now, I used to eat the sushi stuff all the time. I haven't done it for years and years now because I know what they do to me. But before, I would be attracted to eating this food. But after years and years of detox and getting rid of internal parasites will take you at least 6 months, year and a half. And you're going to have to go back to eating healthy. You're not going to be eating all this trash food anymore because it doesn't make sense. You're trying to detox your parasites, but you still go back eating this trash food. It doesn't make any sense to me. Help me make some sense out of this. You guys know what I'm talking about? I don't want you guys to go 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Why don't you just keep on going through the hard and difficult path? Any of you believe in religion? Any of you study scripture? Broad is the road, wide is the door that leads to destruction. Many enter through it. Small is the door, narrow the road that leads to life. Only a few find that road. What I'm sharing with you is the hard and difficult path. I've been on this call for definitely probably close to 2 hours now, really giving you guys a lot of great insights, understanding into your digestive health. I don't have a shortcut for you guys. Sushi is definitely extremely bad for you because they're just full of organisms. They're full of parasites. And you can actually find people doing these videos, or get a microscope yourself. Get a high power microscope yourself and check it for yourself. You'll find all sorts of things. Now, you can count on your white blood cells. They do help you identify pathogens and eliminate them. But the problem is that most people, they are dealing, or they're taking a lot of corticosteroids. So I was asking Mishka, what is your take on corticosteroid therapy? Message retracted. How's Japan some of the healthiest people? That's a great question. Well, Japan also created ivermectin. Did you know that? Ivermectin was created in Japan. So they've known about internal parasites for a very long time. They're more aware of these things, and then they have different tools to get rid of them. But most people, they're not detoxing. They don't care about their internal parasites, and they just continue to survive and replicate inside their body. See, even in Japan, they have a parasite museum. When is the last time you visited a parasite museum? This is in their consciousness. This is in their knowledge base, right? It's like, hey, these things are here. They're very dangerous, and you have to do something if you are consuming these products. The US, it also has a national parasite collection, but you talk to most people in the US, this is not on their radar. They always think, oh, this is somewhere out in the bushes in Africa, you know. And the rest all, I don't have answer on that. No worries. So when you are studying different parasites, today we only covered major, full-blown organisms. Single-cell protozoan parasites, some of them, they can attack your different organs. Some of them can attack your red blood cells. And a lot of them, these different types of parasites, they can transfer through unprotected sex as well. So all I can say is, hey guys, go study up on these herbs, okay? And you want to be working with physicians out there who are experienced in this classification. I think this is called antihelmintics. I think that's the classification of drugs. And what about beef and chicken? They're also very problematic, and nobody likes to eat overcooked meats. They both contain a lot of different parasites. So beef, they can be dealing with liver flukes. Liver flukes, very problematic when people are eating raw liver these days. Where are you coming from? That would be a venture tech. Where are you from, venture tech? So, or when you're eating beef, you can be dealing with tapeworms, or eating pork. Tapeworms are different species of tapeworms. And these are hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites, they can grow to such an incredible size. And yeah, garlic is definitely going to help, okay? But garlic is one herb, right? So you guys have to learn from a broad spectrum of herbs and also OTCs under the guise of your doctor to help you get rid of. It's going to be 6 months, a year and a half, and you cannot go back unless you just want to, you know. You always say Seattle. I know exactly where you're at. Listen, I used to live in off of 45th. I used to live off of 9th. I used to live really close to university. I attended UW. I used to watch a little bit of Seahawks. You know, I was watching Cam Chancellor earlier today. Richard Sherman, right? The league. Are you into football? Venture Tech. Now, I'll tell you this. I used to live in a U district, and I used to work in Redmond. Yeah. What would you recommend for protein sources? You can do a lot of just from beans. So I eat a combination of different beans. You can do mung beans, red beans, black beans, even garbanzo. You can just do a mixture of that. You can get a lot of protein from just doing that. There's this proteins in some fruits as well. You know, just like, what are your goals, you know? And I'm not saying you have to eliminate all meat. I'm just saying you have to think about, okay, how are you going to cook it? And if you were to eat undercooked, then you got to have a process in to eliminate the internal parasites. Because some people, this is too much better, you know, with meat. And some people, they do well with combination of beans and also meat. Some people, they do, I had people, they're on complete vegetarian, vegan diet, and they do fine on that. Yeah, it just depends. I'm a cook, but I have friends and family that are husky. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Another person I really enjoy listening to, well, he's from the Tacoma area. Are you a big fan of Nate Jackson? Sometimes you got to get a good laugh. You know, when I think of, I used to live in the US. I don't live in the US now, but I'm just saying, when I was in the US, I was like, man, what is it like? And it's been at least 7-8 years since I've been in the US. But now I'm like, oh, what does the US look like? All I gotta do is pull up Nate Jackson, the comedian, when he does all these what is it called? When he just starts to roast the audience. And I was like, that's basically America right there. You know, because he draws so many different people from every background, and they can all have a great time, you know. So yeah, so I'm like, that's basically America right there. You know, I see very interesting things, you know, coming out of the shows. But we cover a lot of content earlier. Talked a little about my story. You know, over here I was living in downtown San Diego at the time, and I could not lose weight for the life of me. And how did I recover my health? Well, I started learning about my digestive health because I tried everything, man. I tried everything at Venture Tech. I live in Taiwan. I don't know if you've been out in Asia. Yeah, Taiwan. And I travel sometimes. I go down to the Philippines, you know. So I learned a lot about my own digestive health, and I had a lot of chronic constipation. I started to clean this out because it's a very long piece of paperwork. And many people don't know how to clean out this paperwork. I have a protocol that I do sell in my Gumroad. I teach people exactly step by step how to mix this in exact proportions. I tell them all the liabilities, concerns, and way in advance so they can actually produce a very powerful laxative effect. I mean, most people, they don't believe me when I share this with them. They think that this is just some random person on the internet making up things. Yeah, it's pretty funny. When they are on that toilet, I make it a believer out of them. So I coach this in English, I coach this in Chinese. People here in Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia. I've also translated this protocol in Arabic because it's so effective, because we are all the same on the inside. So listen, Adventure Tech, just what like Tupac says, right? We got to start making changes. Learn to see me as a brother instead of two distant strangers. Hey, seems like gut health helper dressing sense. I appreciate that. Well, I don't listen. When you're out of shape, doesn't matter what you put on. It just looks that. It just looks bad. Look at that. And over here, I was going to the bar that one evening. Okay, downtown San Diego. Any of you been to San Diego? Let me know. It's an amazing small little city. It's very accessible if you live downtown. It's a pain in the ass if you don't have your own car. Okay, but right now you have Uber unless it doesn't matter. But downtown you can get everything done. And on Fifth, there's so many bars. So I was going to drinking with my friends that evening. And funny, I was going with a whole bunch of doctors. Whole bunch of doctors who need their alcohol. Anyway, I was putting on this pair of jeans, right? And I was like, God, why are these jeans so tight around my waist? When I was putting on this shirt, it's like, you can see these buttons, they were just screaming at me, y'all. And I was like, what did I do to deserve this? Is it because I left my jeans too damn long in the dryer? Have you thought about that before? Appreciate it, man. What are your thoughts about raw milk? So it's good clean source, fams, good amino acid. I believe in that. I know people, I've tried raw milk myself. I just don't have the best digestive system for it because Asian people, you know, we're just, some people, they can take it really well. Some other people, they can't. I have a good friend. He's up in Canada. He has a farm, okay? And they got their daughters out there, you know, milking the cows. It's coming out hot. And they just drink that at their breakfast. They've been doing that for 20 plus years. And they're always fine. They never have any problems. They're always healthy. They're never sick. I'm just like, you got to just keep on doing what works, you know? So I don't have any. And it's also important to see what type of feed that goes into your cow. Because if you're just feeding them that industrial corn, they're going to have problems. But if you're actually going to get, hey, the stuff that they actually need, which is probably grass, right? Yeah, so that's a great question. Hey, where are you coming from? We got Seattle, Washington. We got people from Algeria, people from South Africa. Let me telling y'all, appreciate you guys coming on. And it's very rare I do these calls and then I see people stay on, but they never text anything in the live chat. I'm really grateful for it. It's a lot more fun when you can have some interaction. Otherwise, I really don't know how to navigate this conversation. I have a lot of content you can see. I have real information, real slides that can really change the trajectory. And many of you think that Asian people were just skinny as a rail, right? Incorrect. Yo, what's going on? You're in the UK. All right, so you're a couple hours. It's in the morning, right? Right now, you're probably 9, 10 o'clock out there. No, even earlier. You might be like, what, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock? So over here, this is what Asian men look like out here. They are messed up. Asian men, we are getting fatter and fatter. It's just disturbing what I'm seeing out there. It wasn't like that when I was growing up. Like, everybody was skinny as a rail. And now, people are just getting fatter and fatter. Why is that? You can't just try to reduce this fat tissue, trying to do more crunches. Listen, people are doing more crunches on top of a landfill. This is the landfill we're dealing with right now because people are chronically constipated. So their colon, their large intestines, is dilating, it's distending, it's getting a little bit bigger every single week, every single month, every single year. So they always have this bulging belly. What I'm endeavoring to do, I'm telling people, don't disbelieve anything that I say. I'm not a doctor. None of this professional medical advice. But you must find a way. I don't know how you're going to do it. You got to produce this laxative effect. You got to blast out this waste material coming out hot. And it's going to smell so nasty. You can't imagine how nasty this smells. And my friend out in Washington, now, if you go to the toilet, you see blood and you worry about it, well, I will say, you got to take notice. You got to somehow get that inflammation to go away, right? Because right now you are dealing with some type of colorectal problems. It could be internal hemorrhoids. So every single time you have an exit of this waste material, it's going to make this bleed, right? So, or you may have some type of a fissure that is taking place. Do you know what is the problem? Is it in the colorectal area or is it inside, right? And you have to restore chronic constipation. Okay, does fruit cleanses work or coffee enema? I highly recommend doing, you want to look into both, right? I was not successful with coffee enema. I do not like things sticking up my behind. Adventure Tech, do you know what I'm talking about? I don't want people poking up there. I don't want to go see a proctologist because when people are dealing with hemorrhoids or they're dealing with anal abscesses and fistulas or some type of a prolapse, your primary care, they're going to have you go down and see this guy, this mofo right here. You know, I appreciate that. We don't have to be fully, we give advice based on experience. I like that. I like that. Appreciate it. Yeah. So this guy, this is going to be a lot more invasive than your TAs they pat down, as I explained before. They're going to have you drop your pants and underwear. They're going to snap on their latex gloves, and they're going to start poking at you, poking at your hole. And they don't have any real solution. They will help you identify. They will help you identify these things. They say, oh, you got some of these, got some of these, got some of these. But don't worry, I'm going to have you go back out to the receptionist, Rachel. Rachel's going to reschedule you back in, and we're going to help you patch up your hemorrhoids, patch up your fissures, this, that, and the third. Listen, you have to know the picture. The proctologists, they're down here, dealing with a small little hole. They're trying to tinker down here. But if you're still chronically constipated on top, don't you think you're going to go back? You're going to go back and see your friendly proctologist tinkering down there again and say, oh, you're back here again with a new hemorrhoid. Surprise, surprise. No, that's the system, guys. The system is maximizing lifetime customer value. That's it. If you're in business, that's what, when you do my protocol, you have to pay this one time. Okay? This is basically the worst business model. I can't really, once you do this and you do this on a regular basis, guess what? You're going to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. Over time, all this chronic inflammation in the forms of ulcerative colitis, they go away. In the form of diverticulitis, they go away. Crohn's disease, they go away. You're not throwing down the anti-inflammatory, non-steroidal. You're not throwing down corticosteroids. You're not throwing down the antibiotics. For every problem, they're going to invent a new term for it, and then throw down more medications. If they don't have the medication for it, they're going to invent one. That's how the industrial complex is made. That's how they make that money. You guys understand? And I do have some experience with it. Let me tell you my own background. So when I was 18, really long time ago, I can't believe I'm saying this shit. And the only way you can confirm anything that I'm saying is if you know how to use archive.org. There's something called the Wayback Machine. Adventure Tech, are you in tech? So the Wayback Machine can help you confirm this. When I was 18, I started in medical software. So at that time, people didn't have this EMR, electronic medical record, none of this stuff. So doctors, they were paper-based, right? And it was very easy for doctors to make mistakes. They're called iatrogenic medical errors. Heading out for the day, as always, experience watching. Hey, Karen, appreciate you, man. Yeah. You guys got to remind me. Sometimes I forget where you guys are coming in from. And some people don't really have like real names. You got like initials. But hey, AA, appreciate you for coming on. Best to you from the UK. Have an amazing rest of your week. I'll talk to you soon. And over here, my story is simply, when I was 18, 19 years old, I started working in medical software. And the backers of this company, they were real heavy hitters from the 80s. A lot of money, okay? Without getting into details, the book you want to be reading If you ever have any questions regarding virology, this is the book you want to be reading. Inventing the AIDS virus. People I knew at work, okay? People who invested in the company that I was a part of, they were in this book. So if you have questions about HIV AIDS, if you're wondering you just have a lot of question marks about germ theory, go read this book. So anyway, I was 19 years old. I was working with a lot of medical professionals. I wasn't a doctor, nothing like that. And what happens was I was good in tech, right? I knew a little bit about programming, software development, user interface. So I worked on that part. But all around me, I had the doctors, I had the pharmacists, I had nurses. Like, Mishka, you're a study nurse. I had nurses around me all day. I had PAs, physician assistants. And I was talking to these people every single day. And also engineers. Our office was 5 minutes away from Research Triangle Park. Do you guys know about Research Triangle Park in North Carolina? Research Triangle Park. Many of the drugs out on the market, they first have to go through R&D in Research Triangle Park before they go through their phases of trials and they get launched on the market. Long story short, I'm talking to my coworkers, and they told me these pharmaceutical companies don't give a about your health. Don't get. And as an 18, 19-year-old, he said, what do you mean by that? You know, because you're very, very naive when you're a teenager. And they said, one of the first things that you should do is go learn about the mission and vision statement of a company, because that's basically their driving force, right? What is this company trying to achieve? None of their mission statement, none of their vision statement, nothing. They don't talk anything about curing anything. It's about disease management. The business is about disease management. It's a car manufacturer heading up for the day, making planned obsolescence. Yeah, oh, you are a brilliant planned obsolescence part that fails down the line. They won't make as much money on the car safe, but parts, you know, that is absolutely 1000% correct. And I do make a very, very, very good analogy with liver health, because I don't know if you were on the call earlier, but I was going through liver health. Mishka, she's a nursing student in South Africa. I told her, your liver, this works like an oil filter. Any of you work on your cars, you know, like I didn't come for money, right? I had to change my own oil, but you learn a lot. You go to the AutoZone, go to O'Reilly Parts, and then you're picking up these books from Chilton and Haynes. I had an old Volvo 240, you know, because I was just going to work, you know, as I told y'all, at 18, 19, medical software, but I was going to school at the same time. So it's almost like, it was hard for me to save money, y'all. It's like, I'm going to work, and I'm just putting all the money in school. I was like, fuck this. But anyway, you learn about changing your own oil. Not only do you have to change the oil, you have to change the filter. Think of your liver like that. And when this liver gets all messed up because it's filtering the blood 24/7, 365, this congestion is going to get inside this liver. And over time, just like if you don't change your oil, you don't change the oil filter, the viscosity of that oil is going to go higher and higher. As it goes higher and higher, you're wondering why your fuel efficiency is getting shit, right? You're driving for a couple of hours, you stay on 520, you know, adventure tech, you know all about 520. God, trying to get to work. So I was a consultant at Microsoft. Anyway, back when I was in my 20s. And I was like, this traffic is some bullshit. And your car, fuel efficiency just goes down. And your body works the same, because if you can't fix this filter, your blood viscosity is just going to go higher and higher and higher. And when your blood viscosity is going higher, your heart's going to work a lot harder, just like how your engine, right, is going to drop the liver. If you don't check it, it's going to drop. It's going to, yep. The liver, there are ways to clean out this organ. Nobody will teach you. No nursing school will teach you. No medical school will teach you. This is the book. But the way how I go about it is a little bit different because I've done it 70 times. 70. Documented. Okay? And you can get this congestion out. But first, you got to learn about how it connects to your gallbladder through this deep intrahepatic ducts, and all the congestion inside the gallbladder, all this waste material in the intrahepatic ducts, they can exit. So these are some of the photos. And you guys, if you are persistent on this journey, if you are consistent, because there's going to be some ups and downs along the way. I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, everything about these detox protocols is a smooth sailing. It's not a problem at all. No, there are going to be times that I felt like I got hit by a damn bus. But you know what? Over time, the trajectory of my health just got better and better and better. All these problems went away. Joint pains went away. Before, I couldn't even do this. I was developing rheumatoid arthritis. And that's something you want to look, Mishka, if you are seeing patients, number one, if they're dealing with edema, okay, if they're dealing with joint pain, they have to take some kind of corticosteroid to help that inflammation subside. They're dealing with liver and kidney problems, but no doctor will tell you that. They will throw down either antibiotics, throw down corticosteroids, immunosuppressants, deeper sleep, faster recovery from sports, restore libido health. As a man, you have to be waking up every morning with an erection. It's the erection that wakes you up. If you lost that, something is off. And if you restore liver health, that restores all by itself. Faster metabolism. I can go to a buffet. I can stay there for hours. I can eat whatever I want because right now my metabolism is through the roof. You guys understand? I mean, I eat healthy foods, but I don't calorie count for nothing, y'all. I don't do calorie count for nothing. When you restore your internal organs, it's kind of like you're turning back the clock. Just like when you're like a teenager, you eat whatever you want, you still have a six-pack abs. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's what I want for y'all. But it's going to take hard work, dedication, persistence. It's going to take time, effort. It's going to have to take out your schedule and be like, hey, I have to set everything else aside and do this thing. Learn these protocols and actually get the ingredients and actually follow through. Week over week, month over month, year over year, because I've been doing it since 2019. So people think, oh, I want to find a quick solution. The quick solutions are all detours. In essence, what would you recommend to finish to clean out the system and keep your filter clean? So one step at a time. If you haven't done any type of protocol, the first protocol is the saltless protocol, the protocol that I outlined in this right here. So I was just going to put in the link. You want to get very proficient with this first protocol, cleaning out the small and large intestines. Next, what you want to do, you can get the simple PDF that deals with internal parasites, but I also cover internal parasites with this first protocol, so you don't have to get that. And over time, if you are proficient with this protocol, the liver and gallbladder cleanse is right here. I mean, you don't need 2 kidneys. Did you get your kidney removed already, Dianu? Let me know what's going on, because I've been learning a lot more about the kidneys, okay? This is what I sent my friend earlier. I told him that your heart is kind of like the engine, right? But the engine's got to cool down. So that's why you have these things called the radiator. The radiator's got the coolant in it. And that coolant's going to go through your engine block to cool that. And that's what your kidneys do. Your kidneys, one of them is going to provide the cooling effect. The one, yeah. Show me the first page, yeah. So the first page is this one. Hopefully so those are the specific ones, but if you want to get the main page, the main page. All right, these are all the different things that I coach. And I am thinking about putting a school together pink salt so expensive? Where are you coming from? Are you from India? Because I don't think certain countries, or even Yemen, they can't find pink salt in Yemen. Because I was talking to this guy out there. So that's where you can look at the broad range of products that I promote. And I am thinking about putting together this hidden school. So if you're interested in that, it's zero. I just want to see if there's any interest. Because some of you need to have a classroom environment where you're working with other people it's going to give you more motivation. Because when I was going through this, I didn't really have anybody to talk to. And then it's kind of like very encouraging when you can see other people's testimonials. And I do have an Instagram, so you guys can hit me up on that as well. So on this Instagram, I have testimonials in both English and Chinese. And if you don't read Chinese, that's perfectly fine because we have all these translators. What would you recommend if someone has kidney disease from excess alcohol? All right. So first thing, it's going to be a combination of the liver and kidneys. So over here, highly recommend them taking a look at chapter 5. In chapter 5, he outlines the herbs. And the website that I purchased all the herbs from, Mountain Rose Herbs, okay, because you want to find the highest quality herbs without all the toxins and junk. And you have to mix them in. You have to mix them in the right proportions, and you have to soak them overnight. And in the morning, you want to bring them to a boil. Bring them to a boil. You want to strain. After you strain, you're going to add it to more water. Adding it to more water, you're going to drink it throughout the day. And that process is amazing because your friend, whoever's dealing with this right now, are they getting up in the middle of the bathroom to use the bathroom in the middle of the night? So that tells me a couple of things, because many people, if they're dealing with kidney problems, they're probably dealing with a lot of, problems in their bladders, always urging them to use the bathroom. Oh, in addition, they may have problem peeing, so their prostate is it's getting a little bit larger from the chronic inflammation. All this stuff can be fixed, but they have to fix the kidneys and the liver. So it depends. Yeah, I would say, because when you're drinking any type of alcohol, it has such a massive impact on the liver, right? And I major on the majors. This one is doing 250 gallons of blood. Kidneys are doing 50. At the same time, it just depends on how serious the situation is, and they have to just think about it. They have to read the books, first of all. Read the books, read it cover to cover, read this one. I mean, this one's much longer, so they may not get through both books, but I just think learning about this information is so important because your doctor, they don't have the time of day to give you. My skin is very dry, like I used more than 20 moisturizers, still no result. Did you get one of your kidneys removed? What's going on with your kidneys right now? Because when you're dealing with your kidneys, there's so much, right? So over here, this left kidney right here, this one is closer to the heart. And this blood, this one works like a radiator, all right? And your lungs, they work like the fans on it's trying to cool down your heart. So it goes in this direction. It goes in this direction. So all this stuff I'm still learning too. All I'm saying is, if you have both kidneys, you want to keep them, okay? and you want to improve upon them. You want to just assume that you're going down the different stages of kidney damage, because most people are. They're not taking care of their health. And when you're chronically constipated, all this waste material will have an effect on your blood work, because this waste material, as it putrefies, as it decays and rots, it's going to exude or ooze through other parts of your body. That's what's going to do. Maybe skin cancer. Listen, don't think about that. All right? Work with a naturopathic doctor. But friends, okay, fantastic. You want to be talking to your naturopathic doctor. Don't just jump into saying it's skin cancer. Let me tell you something, guys. When you got different parasites, they're attacking your internal organs, and your liver is developing cysticercosis, now you're doing MRIs or CT scans, they're going to say you're developing cancer. I don't want you guys to think of it like that. Just recognizing that this is bullshit, this is congestion inside your liver, and if you are persistent, and if you're willing to do the hard work, recognize these intrahepatic ducts that go in all sorts of directions inside your liver. They're all interconnected to your common bile duct. Over time, there are ways to get this congestion out. But you don't want to sit on your hands and be like, I'm going to deal with this later. You want to work your way up through the detoxification protocols. Small and large intestines, next. Parasite detox, next. Liver and gallbladder flush, next. Kidney cleanse, next. Heavy metal detox. You want to restore this daily KPIs. You go to work, your boss has a whole bunch of KPIs for you. But what are the KPIs for your own personal health? If you're not drinking enough water, you're not drinking enough electrolytes, not just water, you have to drink electrolytes. Some of you got to add that lemon. Over here you can see, I don't know if you can see that there's a slice of citrus fruits. I think this is lime. And then you can also add a little bit of salt. You get your electrolytes back up. If you're not drinking enough water, electrolytes, you're going to have problems with your bowel movements. You're going to be chronically constipated. Then now your KPI is off from that with your daily bowel movements. Next, you got to do something that will make you sweat. You have to sweat. I don't care what you do. If you exercise, if you go to a sauna, if you make love in a sauna, I don't care what you do. You have to make your body sweat to eliminate the waste material from your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is connected to your spleen. Anu, tell me, what is your digestive health right now? Are you producing daily bowel movements? Okay, have you done any type of parasite cleanse? Because a lot of you, you're not even producing a daily bowel movement, and your skin's going to come up with different problems. And of course, the moisturizer will do nothing. You're not dealing with the problem at the root. Yes, you should definitely replenish your stomach with real food, okay? And you have to make a real... You can't go back eating nasty foods. Here's one of the mistakes a lot of people make. I'm telling people, you got to get the waste material out of your body, out of the small and large intestines. As you clear that up, you're going to even rinse out the microplastics inside the small intestines. When you go back eating trash foods, the absorption ability of your small intestine is going to be double or even triple. Whatever you eat in, it's going to put it right back into your cells. If you are eating healthy foods, it's going to replenish your cells. If you're eating nasty foods, you're going to be feeling awful. So don't blame it on the detox. Blame it on what you replenish your body with after the detox. I've already made the mistakes. I did the detox and then I thought I would be stupid, and eat some trash. I threw up. Your body will begin to reject the nasty foods. So you have to really replenish your body with real food. Mishka, but the guy with skin problems use honey and turmeric. It works every day. You know what? I think that's a fantastic, fantastic advice. Why don't you try a little bit of that? Okay. And if you want, you can send me a picture of your skin. You can either use my Twitter or you can find me on I do like that advice, Mishko. I do like that. Something topical, something that's all natural. Yeah, no more Panda Express. Yo, they call it Panda Express for a reason, y'all. Do you guys know that? I never go eat that stuff. Never, never. How many of you go to Panda Express and you actually find Asians eating there? You probably find very, very few. Okay. In fact, I don't even go to McDonald's. I don't go to Burger King. I don't go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. And there's a direct correlation. So many young people are eating that trash in Asia, and they're wondering why their health is out of whack. Like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, y'all. Rice water. Mishka, let me tell you, you're going to be a fantastic nurse, but I also want you to explore the possibility that you study some naturopathic, maybe become a naturopathic doctor. Because if you're just going to do nursing, they're going to throw you right back into their system, and you know they're going to make you do things that you do not want to do. So there's some hard decisions you're going to have to make going forward. Yeah, they got cloned pandas in there. Listen, if they can clone Dolly the sheep, don't you think they're cloning other things at this point? 20, 30 years later? Give me a break. The amount of BS that we're bombarded with is out of this world. So, do you guys have any questions for me before I close this call? I just want to appreciate you for being on this call, having a conversation with me. And you guys know where I'm at. You guys can subscribe to my channel. A simple test. Don't want to look like people eating the food you're about to eat. Well, when they're young, it doesn't make much of a difference. When you're young, you have your metabolism, you have your organs firing in all cylinders. But that stuff goes away. That stuff goes away. But people that are getting fat, 25, 30. I was getting fat. What the hell? I was looking awful by 30. Well, I appreciate that, Mishka. When's the last time you went on a live and it was actually useful information? Hopefully you guys take this information, consider getting some of my programs, even if you just get the PDF. I think they will benefit you a lot. And listen, there was a time in the past I gave out all my information for free, and guess what happens? Nobody did anything. So I'm like, neuroscience tells me you don't value fruit, right? You just don't value fruit. That's not how your brain is wired. Until you can assign a value to it, you're like, oh, this is very important. I need to actually go through this content, put it on my calendar, and do it. So I appreciate you, Adventure Tech. Appreciate you, Mishka. And also, we got A was a Dianu, and then hit me up, Dianu. You can have a conversation with me on my Instagram. Yeah. So have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. I'll talk to you all soon.